Well, hey Zelda, long time no see. Literally haven't seen you since before the first time I used the harp mechanic, actually. That was... whoa. It's been a bit, hasn't it? You've come so far, Box. I'm glad you made it. I imagine Impa filled you in on everything. We've traveled very far from home, to the distant past. In this era, the wounds inflicted on the land during the battle between the goddess and the demon king known as Demise have not yet healed. All the fairy tales about the war we heard growing up in Skyloft. Incredible as they may seem, they appear to be all too real. I think it's time you learned the whole story. Let me try to explain. The old gods created a supreme power that gave anyone who possessed it the ability to shape reality and fulfill any desire. They called it the Triforce. In his thirst to make the world his own, Demise readied a massive army of monsters for war. He sought to take the Triforce for himself, by force. The goddess feared for her people. She used her power to send both them and the Triforce into the sky, on a slice of earth she cut away from the land. This floating rock became the new home of our people. In time, it came to be known as Skyloft. After a long and fierce battle, the goddess, Hylia, succeeded in sealing away Demise. However, soon after the Demon King was imprisoned, it became clear that the seal would not hold long against his fearsome power. Hylia had suffered grave injuries in her battle with the Demon King. She knew that if he broke free again, there would be no stopping him. And if the Demon King were to free himself, it would mean the end of the world for all beings of this land. In order to put an end to the Demon King, Hylia devised two separate plans and set them both into motion. First, she created Fi. She made the spirit that resides in your sword to serve a single purpose, to assist her chosen hero on his mission. Her second plan was to abandon her divine form and transfer her soul to the body of a mortal. She made the sacrifice, as you have likely guessed, so that the supreme power created by the old gods could one day be used. For while the supreme power of the Triforce was created by gods, all of its power can never be wielded by one. Knowing this power was her last and only hope, the goddess gave up her divine powers in her immortal form. You've probably figured it out by now, haven't you, Bucks? That's right, you're the goddess, the chosen hero, and I, Zelda, am the goddess reborn as a mortal. The day of the ceremony, Ghirahim's tornado tossed me out of the sky and down to the world below. It was what we considered a dick move. I was nearly captured by the demonic forces, but I was rescued at the last moment by the old woman who lives in the sealed grounds. I had no memory at all of my existence as Hylia, but she explained it to me. She helped me to remember who I was and what I had to be. It makes it an unusual case where Zelda's, special position in our society before this, where there was, a whole contest to win her heart or something, whatever was going on at the beginning there. She didn't even know she was the goddess for once, or whatever you want to call the princess's role in each game, because she often has some sort of special thing going on. I set out to pray at the goddess statues located in each temple across the land. Each statue stirred up memories within me. After I visited them all, Impa, an agent of the goddess, led me here, to the past. All of this is part of the same great effort to prevent the revival of Demise. Stripped of his true physical form by the seal that binds him, he takes the shape of an abomination. But even in his hideous state, he's more than capable of devouring this land if we allow him to do what he desires. We must stop him from freeing himself from the seal that imprisons him at any cost. That is why I intend to remain here in this time and place, to sustain the seal as best I can. As long as I continue this vigil, we may be able to prevent the Demon King from fully reviving in our time. I must maintain the seal that that I created so long ago, and keep it strong for as long as I am able. With the memories of my former life returned to me, I can see now that this is my purpose. Box. The goddess created Fi and the Great Blade she's a part of for very specific reasons. For the task of standing against Demise in the monstrous form he now assumes rests solely on your own shoulders. Back in our own time, you've already driven him back into his prison twice now. I can't thank you enough for that, Box. During your long journey, you've grown so much. You learned wisdom from solving devious puzzles and traps. You gained power by honing and tempering both yourself and your sword, and by overcoming the trials set before you by the goddess, you found true courage. Now that those qualities reside in you, you are worthy of wielding the power the old gods left behind for our kind. You can claim the Triforce. Valiant hero, you have endured many hardships and journeyed far in your quest to reach this place. Along your travels, you have found wisdom, power, and courage, and for this, I shall bless your sword with the goddess's power. May it give you, and your sword, the strength to drive back the abomination that threatens this land. The mark you see upon the back of your hand is proof that you are a hero of legend, and that within you dwells sacred power. It is the mark of the Triforce. Stand now, Box. Draw your sword. The goddess has blessed your blade, and the Master Sword has at last achieved its ultimate form. The sword is now imbued with the mythical power to drive back demons, and only Box may wield it. Mythical. Do they even mean different things? Kind of, but also no. They're similar enough, at least, that's like not really worth correcting, I guess. Box, before I say another word, I feel like I owe you an apology. You see, the mark of the Triforce on your hand is a symbol of the greatest power in this world. If you can obtain the actual Triforce, we will have the power to vanquish Demise once and for all. The problem is, among the countless souls in this world, only a select few, those with an unbreakable spirit, can wield its might. It's impossible to know the true reason why the old gods created the Triforce, But I have a theory of my own. The gods created the Triforce, yet they specifically designed it so that their own kind could never use its power. Somehow, I think that may have been their way of giving hope to all the mortal beings of the land. Which brings us back to you. To face Demise and give the land hope, the goddess Hylia needed someone with an unbreakable spirit. That someone is you, Box. But spirit alone wasn't enough. You had to overcome many trials and awaken the hero within yourself so that you could wield that supreme power. And so, Hylia, and so do I. I knew that if it meant saving Zelda, you would throw yourself head first into any danger, without even a moment's doubt. I used you. I can't begin to tell you how sorry I am for pulling you into all this, Box. But you have to understand this is a war, and the fate of the land hangs in the balance. I need your strength to tip the scales in our favor. All that may be well-intentioned and true, but doesn't mean it's right, and it doesn't excuse my actions. But I'm prepared to pay the price for what I've done. To ensure that the seal holds, I will remain here, in this time, deep in sleep, for thousands of years. Oh. Well, that blows. Box, I can't say it enough. I'm so sorry for the way I had to involve you in this. But until my memory of things before our lifetime returned to me, I had no idea we were fated to carry such a heavy destiny. Before all this, I was happy just spending my days hanging around with you in Skyloft. I wanted that feeling to last forever. I was not expecting a solid column around her to be physically there, like Amber. While it's true that I am Hylia reborn, I am still my father's daughter and your friend. I'm still your Zelda. When Demise is finally gone, there will be no more need for the seal that binds him. And then I'll be able to wake up. So I'm going to ask you a favor, Sleepyhead. Ever since we were kids, I'd always been the one to wake you up when you slept in. But this time, when all of this is over, will you come to wake me up? I promise. Oh, it is like Amber. It's floating. Did she just wait for me to get here just to semi-die in front of me? I guess we can wake her up eventually. But like, it took me a long time to catch up. Am I just gonna go back, I wonder? Like, do I actually do open worlds? Like, do I navigate the world at all in the past? I see you've said goodbye. Now you must keep the promise you made to her. You must find the Triforce. Return to your time. There is work to be done here. Do not fear for Zelda. I will watch over her here. Go now and fulfill your destiny. So is she just behind that door? I assume I can't even use the doors around here, right? That would require them to like make an old world version of the entire forest level. So it might be nice to wander around like the area where I just fought that boss. If you couldn't go any further or something. This is such a trippy visual. So you've returned. So that is you. You've been here for so long. Then you know everything. On the other side of that gate, Zelda waits, suspended in a sleep without end. But do not despair, for she is still alive and well. True to legend, the Triforce is the one thing with the power to vanquish Demise. It is thought to have been hidden within Skyloft by the goddess. Sadly, that is all we know of where it rests. All other clues to its whereabouts have been lost to the ages. Box, you will have likely come to the same conclusion, but I will spell it out just the same. The key to finding the Triforce must be in Skyloft. That you just said that. I thought you were actually going to say something additional to that. Go now, Box. Find the Triforce. Whoa there, hold up. I need a ride. Box, there's something I gotta tell you. Can he even ever go home? Like, is he fucked? I go home via magic statues that I somehow use. I don't know if he can do that. And we can't fly down here. So Zelda, how's she holding up? Was she okay when she saw her? Actually. That's terrible. It's gotta be so hard for the poor girl. But you're gonna do something about this mess, right? Box, I've made up my mind. I'm not going back. That's convenient, because I don't think you can. I'm staying right here with Granny. I don't look so bummed out. Do I look sad? Nah, I'm doing what I want to. I don't know how to explain it. I got this feeling in my belly that there's work to do here. Someone's gotta watch that big ugly monster. And someone's gotta make sure Granny's doing alright. It ain't as action-packed as what you're doing, but maybe this is my destiny. Know what I mean? Besides, it's not so bad here. Living up in the sky was okay, I guess, but don't you just love the way it smells down here? What, that's not weird to say. It's all earthy. Check it out. Zelda and Granny have brought life back to the land here. I bet even the weakest sapling could grow into one beast of a tree in soil like this. It'd brighten this place up a little too. I mean, sure, it'd take a few years for it to grow, but as far as I'm concerned, I got nothing but time. It's weird to say out loud, but that's just how I feel right now. So, yeah, you know, when you get back to Skyloft, do me a favor and let people know I'm doing okay down here. Colin and Stritch might get a little emotional since they look up to me, but they can't now because I'm below them. You tell them I'm happy, okay? Thanks, Box. That sounds like a fucking Chekhov's gun if I've ever heard one. There's like, what if I were to go and plant a tree here? Would take a long time to grow. It's like, what? Are we gonna cut to like the distant future when he's long dead and see this and see like a huge tree there grown up? Was that always visible, I wonder? Or is there a time paradox where that wasn't there until she had gone back in time. Or maybe it was always there. And she just always was going to go back in time. I don't know. Surely her going back in time and doing that saved us in some way and made it so things are okay-ish right now in the first place, right? Otherwise it would be kind of unnecessary. So if that's the case, maybe she was always there. But that kind of makes Zelda, that makes this game follow timeline rules where there's only one timeline and what's going to happen was always going to happen, so that you can avoid paradoxes because that was always the case. The past always had the interferences from the future and so on. But Zelda supposedly operates on the timeline that is, you know, the Zelda timeline with branching paths and Ocarina of Time having 75 offshooting endings and so on. So only like those two would contradict each other? I don't know. The clues to finding the Triforce are in Skyloft. Go forth and find the Triforce. I suppose it could have always been a situation where time splits into multiple different timelines. Because we do... Ooh. Do I have an empty one? Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Why is this so hard? Okay. If we do the multiple timelines where those kinds of changes lead to new timelines, then that would mean that there's one that we were just always in the timeline where Zelda had done that, but there's also a parallel timeline where Zelda doesn't do this, and whatever happens, happens. Which would mean that there's another branching point now at the beginning of the entire Zelda timeline, by which I mean the one across all the games, not the one in just this game. So in addition to the three branches that come off of Ocarina of Time, there'd be 2 branches coming from Skyward Sword at least, if not more even. Because I think Skyward Sword's at the beginning-ish. That's why we're dealing with like Demise instead of Ganon. Also, am I crazy or did we just do this story? Not everything else specifically, but Ghirahim. I'm realizing I'm like mixing characters up with each other now. Twilight Princess villain. I remember he had like a chameleon mask. Zant. Yeah. So Ghirahim and Zant were both figures that exist to fake out, be the villain. They're like, haha, it is me, the main villain of this game. Look at me, I'm kind of quirky, but I'm also like, I dress funny and I'm skinny. And it's like, this is a very different kind of villain for a Zelda game, isn't it? Wonder how they're gonna pay this off. And then in both cases, they just make him not be the real villain. And he's actually a big fanboy of the real villain, and he's gonna revive him. Except instead of being Ganon again, this time it's Demise, which I have no idea. It would definitely be just... I'll try, because they're here, but I... Oh, no. I didn't mean to do that. I'll try, but I hate catching birds. But what if I need some later, maybe? Oh, I got 4 of them! Oh my god. That was some pro shit. But yeah, be thankful I did my bird farming that one time off camera when I needed it for my whatever upgrade I needed. I need like tumbleweeds and birds. Farming birds sucks so much. The bird statue's over there. Yeah, farming bird statues is just bird statues? Farming bird statues. Farming birds is awful. So is he gonna improve on his design, I guess, so that it actually could fight that creature? Because the bombs work, but he doesn't fire nearly enough of them fast enough. I guess he's got time to iterate, although it'd be helpful if he had like a sword, maybe. To the sky! Yes! Beat me heavensward. It's funny, the Breath of the Wild, I was like, wow, this game's astonishingly long, but I guess that's what happens when you make a game open world. Then I went back and played the other Zelda games, and I was like, wow, these games are actually a lot longer than I thought they would be, but they're still nowhere near as long as Breath of the Wild, which is what I expected. So it's like, okay, that makes sense. Yep. This game, though, shockingly long for a non-open world Zelda game. And I'm not really complaining, because they're generally decently paced and fun games. This and that mission might be less interesting than the previous one or whatever sometimes, but they're pretty well made. Overall. Which is why I'm surprised that one of these games is threatening to be like 100 episodes long, because I'm like, oh crap, that's like 2/3 of the way there to being as long as Breath of the Wild was. And I took my sweet-ass time in that massive open world. I don't know what I expected there. Treasure, hearts, gratitude crystals? Nope, not much going on there. So we just vaguely have the idea that somewhere in this town is the thing. I'm gonna guess it's in the big temple. Call me crazy. It's probably where I'd put it. The big crazy temple. Wasn't this a temple to the goddess Hylia? Yeah, there's even a statue of her. I think I can guess where it might be. Could I have just jumped out of the sky directly onto the temple? I should have done that. Inside the statue of the goddess. Remember this place? Nope, we seem pretty done with this spot. Let's, before I waste too much time, just see if Fee has more specific information. You must now find the Triforce in order to vanquish Demise. I strongly recommend you search for information about the Triforce within Skyloft. Can I read any of these inscriptions? Or maybe I need to talk to the people? Wasn't there like a higher... Oh no, I was only ever on that statue by teleporting to it, huh? I had this idea that I could climb upward somewhere around here, but I think I was thinking about how at some point I had to like climb up to this point via like the weird like outcroppings and level area. There's like playable level around here I think that I had to use to get this far. And then I may have opened the gates from the inside. I don't remember. That was very, very, very early. Alright, well, I guess next episode I'll start asking questions.